Hi, this is how we're going to do fishbowls, Wolk style. This document will walk you through it. Fishbowls are worth 20 points. And you should understand that there's always going to be an inner circle and an outer circle. And that during a class session where we do fishbowls, there's a preparation period where everybody gets to review their own prompts that they're going to have to be responsible for about 10 minutes. And then we switch to session 1. Inner and outer circle get arranged, they get oriented, and the discussion starts. Pay special attention to reflecting and re-reflecting before you just jump in and comment on what somebody else is saying. You get double credit for that. And when you're making a point, if you quote the text to support you, it's a really great thing. So that goes on for 20 minutes. A couple of notes, not to put members on the spot who aren't speaking, but certainly to make space for other people to speak. You don't want to call anybody out on it, but be aware of other people who may not be as jumping into the action as you are. And if you're sitting in the outer circle, then you have a task to do while the inner circle discusses. Now those tasks are all the way down at the end. You'll see it says task for the outer circle. In a small class, we might double up. So you might be doing 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. In a larger class, everybody has their own task. You can use this document, you make a copy of it once we come in to do the fishbowl, to take your notes. We're going to vote on them, and you can always put your notes kind of in here in a column on the right so you have something to look at. And the only other thing I want to point out is that the very end of the document down here, this is my score sheet. So your names will be here. And anytime somebody introduces an idea, asks a question, builds on something that somebody else said, makes a real-world connection to their personal life, certainly re-reflecting. When somebody does productive leadership, let's say, okay, summarizing what we're talking about. Sometimes in fishbowls it can drift. Somebody could say, look, here's what we're talking about. Here's the points that have come up. Is everybody in agreement that that's what's going on? Or let's return to the prompt, that's leadership. Challenging ideas, or the validity of ideas, or the correctness of ideas in a respectful way. So substantiating claim with a quote. Let's say you say a big idea and people are like, what? And you go and you get the text and you can show them. That gets a point. Connecting two or more texts together. If you can say, well, this one text relates back to another one, here's how, connecting it. Referring to another student's idea specifically and being able to re-reflect on it. Not to say, oh, it's like so-and-so said, but actually being able to bring that idea back into the circle. Clarifying, asking for clarification. Making space for other people to speak. Again, not putting them on the spot, but sort of saying, anybody else want to add anything? And then the only negative behaviors that I'll bother pointing out are sometimes you can get tempted to be sarcastic, especially if you don't agree with somebody's idea. That is not a behavior we're looking for. And also dominating, where you sort of feel like you want to lead, but you get carried away with it, and you're speaking more than everybody else is, which is very different than leading, where you sort of move the group forward and then step back. So remember, step up, step back. That certainly applies here. So your names will be here, and I'll put checks in here. One other thing I'll note is that sometimes, and we'll talk about whether we're going to do this or not, I'll make a note when different people talk, like this. And then if you want to comment on something they said, you can actually insert a comment on their X and say, hey, I saw. And I might have people in the outer circle might be having kind of a back channel conversation, replying back and forth in these comments to things that people said. That allows the people in the outside of the fishbowl to be active. So we may or may not do that. It depends on what the decision of the day is. But that is how we do a fishbowl. If you have any questions, you should jot them down right now, and then we will discuss when it's time for housekeeping. Fishbowls.